Hello and welcome to The Simple Dollar. My name is Nicole and today we're here to talk about 11 ways to get out of debt faster. First things first, if you have never heard of The Simple Dollar, I highly recommend that you check us out. We are a personal finance blog that has thousands of articles that are basically here to help you get your finances in order once and for all. If you're ready to do that, definitely make sure that you check us out, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So like it or not, we are a nation of debt. I know that's not pleasant to hear, but it is true nonetheless. But let's back it up with some facts. According to Experian, as of late 2017, the average American has $6,354 in credit card debt. But not only that, we are also carrying around about $24,700 in non-mortgage debt for things like car loans. And let us not forget about student loan debt. The average American has about $34,144 in student loans that are currently outstanding. It's also an unfortunate fact that more than half of Americans are spending more money than they earn every single month and are thus reaching for credit cards to bridge the gap. So it's no wonder why we are a nation of debt. But today I do have some good news for you. You do not have to continue in that cycle, and you can change your life for the better starting today. So let's dive into 11 ways to pay off debt faster. Tip number 1 is to pay more than the minimum payment. Let's say, for example, you are carrying around a credit card balance of $15,609 and you're also paying an average APR of 15%. If you go on to only make the minimum payment of $625 per month, it will take you 13.5 years to pay back the amount in full. And also remember that you can only pay off that amount in full in 13.5 years if you do not add to the balance that is already on the credit card, meaning you don't make any additional purchases throughout the life of that loan. Regardless of whether you are paying off a personal loan, a credit card debt, or a student loan, one of the best decisions that you can make is to pay more than your minimum payment each month. By doing so, you'll not only be able to pay off the debt faster, but you will also save a tremendous amount of money in interest. To avoid any headaches throughout the process, make sure that your loan does not charge any prepayment penalties for paying off the debt sooner than you were scheduled to. If you're in need of a nudge in the right direction, you can utilize free tools online like Tally or Unbury.me or Ready for Zero. These resources can help you to chart and track your progress as you pay down the balances. Tip number 2 is to try the debt snowball method. If you're in the mood to pay more than the minimum on any of the balances that you have for your debts, the debt snowball approach is a great way to do so. The debt snowball is designed to give you a sense of momentum and to build your confidence as you pay down debt. As a first step to starting the debt snowball method, you're going to want to list out all of your debts from smallest to largest. Next, you're going to make the minimum payment on all of your debts except the one with the smallest balance. The debt that has the smallest balance is the one that you're going to throw all of your extra money towards. All of the extra disposable income that you bring in, you're going to use to attack that smallest debt. Once that smallest balance is paid off, you'll then take all of that money from that smallest payment and apply it to the debt that has the next smallest balance, and so on and so forth. The snowball effect allows you to pay off those smaller debts first, get a few psychological wins, and then move on to the larger debts later on. Ultimately, the goal is snowballing all of your extra money towards debt so that you can eventually become completely debt-free. Tip number 3 is to pick up a side hustle. Now, although the debt snowball can allow you to attack your debts faster, you can absolutely amplify your efforts even more by getting a side hustle. Nearly every person has a unique skill or talent that they can monetize to bring in some more money to apply directly towards debt. Some popular and also lucrative side hustles that you might want to take a look at include things like babysitting, mowing lawns, cleaning houses, and also serving in the capacity of a virtual assistant. With sites like TaskRabbit and Upwork, nearly anyone can find a way to make some additional money on the side. The key, though, is to make sure that you apply all of those additional dollars that you earn directly towards your debt. It can be tempting to go out and spend that additional money that comes in, but to get the best impact for the hard work that you're putting in, make sure that you apply those dollars to your debts. Tip number 4 is to create and live with a bare bones budget. If you really want to pay down debt faster, it is going to be necessary to cut some of your unnecessary expenses. One tool that you can reach for in your debt payoff toolbox is the bare bones budget. With the bare bones budget strategy, you will cut down your expenses as low as they can possibly go and live off of that budget for as long as you can. Now keep in mind that a bare bones budget is going to look different for every single person. For you, you might find it necessary to have internet and to have Wi-Fi in your house. That may be a necessity for most people these days. Other people are able to cut it with ease. So take a look at your budget and see what extras you can get rid of. It could be cable television, or maybe it's eating out once or twice per week. You might find it a little difficult at first, but just keep reminding yourself that these cuts are only temporary. Once you make a difference in your financial future and you pay down debts, you can start to integrate those things, those extras, back into your budget and start enjoying life even more. Tip number 5 is to sell everything you don't need. If you're looking for a quick way to drum up some cash to apply towards your debts, maybe take a look around at your home and the things that you have first. I guarantee you most of us have items lying around our house that we don't use and we can absolutely get rid of without changing the quality of our lives. So why wouldn't we sell some of that extra stuff, get rid of it, free up additional space in our homes, and also earn additional cash to pay down debt? If you happen to live in a neighborhood that permits it, a good old-fashioned garage sale may be the way to go. It's a great way to keep expenses low as you put out your products to sell and to be able to get the most profit back in return. But other options also include selling your items to consignment shops, or also setting up a Facebook yard sale where you can sell your items online. Tip number 6 is to get a seasonal part-time job. One of the best times of the year to get a seasonal job is around the holidays, when retailers are looking to hire additional employees to handle the busy holiday season. If you're willing and able to, it might be easy to find a job around this time of the year. But also don't forget to take advantage of other times where seasonal employees are in demand. For example, the warm weather in the spring and summertime often brings about a greater need for people to do yard work, to work in greenhouses, or even to serve in the capacity of a lifeguard. And then during the fall season, there may be opportunities to work at haunted houses or at a pumpkin patch, or to work on a fall harvest. The take-home point here is that regardless of the season, there will always be opportunities that you can take advantage of to earn some extra money through seasonal work. Tip number 7 is to ask for lower interest rates on your credit cards and also negotiate other bills. You might find yourself in a position where it's very difficult to make any headway on your debts because of the extremely high interest rates that you have on your credit cards. But sometimes we have not because we ask not. Sometimes it can be easier than you think to actually approach your credit card company, let them know your situation, and ask for a decrease in your interest rate. Worst case scenario, they say no, and you're no worse off than you were at the outset. Also, if you have a solid history of paying your bills on time, this could be used as evidence to let your credit card company know that they should grant you a decrease in your interest rate. Beyond credit card interest, you also have the ability to negotiate and/or eliminate some of your other bills as well. We've even highlighted some of these in an article entitled 6 Bills You Can Negotiate Down to Save Money. If you know yourself very well and you know that you are not the negotiating type, then you can use an online resource called Truebill to help you out. And don't forget that any of the resources that I've mentioned here today will also be linked in the video description. Tip number 8 is to consider a balance transfer. Now, this strategy can be helpful if your credit card company absolutely will not budge and is not willing to negotiate with you on your interest rate. With some balance transfer offers, you might even be able to secure an introductory 0% APR for the first 18 months. If you have a credit card debt that you think you can comfortably get paid off in that 18-month period, it might be a great idea to do a balance transfer. By transferring that balance to a lower credit card, you'll be able to save money on interest and also pay down your debt faster. Tip number 9 is to use found money to pay off your balances. Most of us will come across some sort of quote-unquote found money at some point throughout the year. It could be an unexpected gift or a bonus from work. Maybe you get an inheritance, but in some capacity, you are given this money that you did not anticipate. Another great example of found money could be your big fat income tax refund that you get when tax time rolls around. Every single time you come across some additional dollars or some found money, you can apply that money directly to your debt snowball. Now, depending on the amount of money that falls into your lap, you might be able to knock out 1 or maybe even 2 of your smallest debts. And then after that, you're only left with the large balances that you still need to attack. Now, this next tip that I'm gonna share, you might not like me for it after I say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Tip number 10 is to drop that expensive habit that you have. Your expensive habit could be something like smoking, or maybe drinking alcoholic beverages a little too much, or maybe it could be those expensive smoothies, that's me, or you could be spending all of your money on expensive lattes or coffees. Now, admittedly, this might be a little bit difficult for you at first, but just remember that this expensive habit that you have, or that expensive coffee that you like to buy, is not really getting you closer to the ultimate goal of becoming debt-free. You never know, you might actually find a coffee that tastes just as good but costs half the price, and then the difference can be used to apply towards your debts. And then finally, tip number 11 is to step away from the blank. Fill in the blank with whatever your other vice is. It could be the online store that you always are putting so many items in your cart every time, and before you know it, you have clicked buy and packages are arriving to your house. It also could be your favorite fast food joint or restaurant. Whatever your biggest temptation, it is best to avoid it during the time in which you are working towards paying off your debts. And don't forget, again, to remind yourself that this sacrifice is only temporary. You can always add these things back into your life when you're in a better position financially. So the bottom line here is that it is very easy to continue living in debt if you never take a look at your actual reality, at the reality of your current financial situation. No matter what type of debt you're in, whether it's credit card debt, student loan debt, it's important to know that there is a way out. And it will require some sacrifice, and it won't happen overnight, but I guarantee you it will be worth it in the end to get to that finish line and achieve debt freedom. So I hope that this video has given you some inspiration and that you are now more motivated to get started and come up with some creative ways to pay down your existing debts. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to the Simple Dollar YouTube channel and come back for plenty of other great videos just like this one. Be sure to also check out the description for any resources that I mentioned earlier, and we'll catch you in the next video.